Hello, and welcome to East Africa NGO Podcast. I am your host, Patrick Hill. This program is brought to you by Team in Faith, supporting women, orphans, and vulnerable children in Uganda and elsewhere in East Africa since 2012. Today, I want to introduce you to Abraham Masereka, or should I say, Dr. Abraham. He is from a small town on the border with the Democratic Republic of Congo in Western Uganda. I met him in 2013 when I visited his uncle, who I met the previous year in my first visit to Africa in South Sudan. Cleos asked me to bring young Abraham a laptop computer to help him with his medical studies, which I did. Since then, I've gotten to know and become very impressed with this young man, his dedication, his humility, his determination to become a success in the medical field, to support his community and his family. Last November, I was in Uganda to visit some projects, and I made a point to visit Abraham, who 6 months earlier completed his medical training, his formal medical training. We had a chance to sit down and talk about his budding career, and I asked him how things were going. Abraham, very nice to see you once again.
Nice to see you too.
So tell me, how is your medical career going right now?
Currently, my medical career I'm doing well. I'm currently employed at St. Paul Health Center 4, which is an upcoming hospital. Currently, they are still practicing license. Currently, I'm attached to maternity ward. In a day, we receive about over 20 cases. Around 5 of them are with referrals. We do more cesarean section because they come as emergencies. Currently, I'm a newly employed medical officer, just to 1 month and a half old. And I'm not yet employed by the government of Uganda. I'm just in the private setup. And I have hope of upgrading after working some money around a year. Then I go and upgrade. I join medical school to make an obstetrician and a gynecologist.
So today, or on a normal, so you are seeing women who are in labor or are just about ready for onset of labor, or there's some complications?
So today, very early morning, I had to wake up. I went to labor to check mothers in labor to assess them whether they will progress normally or whether they need any other interventions. So currently, I've left them; they are progressing normally. But in case of anything, I'll inform them. They'll be calling me back to go and intervene. I've already seen the post-operatives. I operated around 5 patients yesterday, and all of them are doing well. There's one patient who was almost dying, came with an ectopic pregnancy, rupture. She had lost a lot of blood, but currently she's doing well.
Wow.
Actually, it's my pride. That's the only case I'm proud of, because she was unconscious. Paper white, almost dying, and I saved her life and she's fine. I thank God for that.
Wow. Well, congratulations for that ectopic pregnancy.
Ruptured ectopic pregnancy.
That is not a good thing for any woman to endure.
It's a problem for any woman. So she's doing well. We also have other patients. We see those ones antenatal infection in pregnancy, and all of them I've seen them. I always start my ward runs from 6 a.m. and actually I leave work at 5 p.m. That's daytime duty. Then during evenings, my colleague takes over. If he's tired or if he's sick, I still continue. Sometimes I work for 24 hours. We are doing a lot of work. Then pediatrics, I take care of neonates, neonatal care. My neonates, if we deliver, maybe a neonate is tired, asphyxiated, then I solve. And they have been doing well. Finally, I discharged them well. For medical conditions like diabetes, hypertensive emergency, diabetic emergency, stroke patients, we have been treating them, stabilize them, but for stroke patients, send them to Mbarara for CT scan, brain CT scan. Surgical cases, they are interesting. Those ones with perforated guts, we do resection anastomosis. I'm a junior medical officer, but I have exposure. I've worked with surgeons, I've worked with pediatricians, physicians, internists, gynecologists. So they have been teaching me, and there are conditions that I can handle. I just inform him, there's this and this case, I'm going to operate. He said, okay, be operating, I'm around. So there is one patient who came with a perforated gut, small bowel, and he had typhoid. So I went and resected the bowel, anastomosis, and today he's eating, he's well, he's discharged, he's being well. That's another case.
So, Abraham, back to the mothers. Are emergency deliveries common? I mean, do you do more? Are there more? Is there a higher rate of cesarean, or are there natural births, or what is happening?
St. Paul Health Center 4, where it is positioned at their location, it receives referrals from the periphery health center 2s and health center 3s. So most of our cases are emergencies, and the charges, the patients are not charged high, so they prefer coming to this health center 4. That's the reason why we have a bit higher cesarean section rate. So the nearby hospitals are a bit expensive, and the patients prefer coming to St. Paul Health Center 4. But sometimes they come as referrals. We reassess them and find that they can deliver instrumental delivery vaginally. So I have performed, since I joined, I've performed over 20 vacuum deliveries, vacuum assisted vaginal deliveries. I pulled the baby out.
But most of the time, if there are no complications, they'll be delivered elsewhere?
If no complications, we give them time. And we ointment them with the drugs, and they push the babies out.
Okay. But if there were no complications, they wouldn't even come to your hospital. They would have just a midwife or something
else. If there
else.
are no complications, they prefer being in those health center places. But in most cases, they like being in the hands of doctors, because health center places have no doctor. They are only midwives. So when they come to St. Paul, at least, we are 5 doctors on the ground. So at least they are sure they'll be seen by a doctor.
So as a young doctor, you're probably a generalist. You're doing lots of different things. Do you have an idea about specializing in a certain area?
I'm interested, especially in obstetric and gynecological care. That's a 3-year course in our universities in Uganda. Then after that, I go and super specialize in fertility or assisted reproduction as a fellowship. Then I go on in that area. I wish to work anywhere if given opportunity, or study from anywhere given opportunity.
How was it that you decided as a young person that you wanted to become a doctor? Was there someone who inspired you? Were you exposed to a hospital setting, or how did this even begin?
I was born in a village very far, but at home we had a neighbor who did sciences, and he could always, for him he was in the advanced level, doing physics, mathematics, biology, and chemistry, and I was in his primary 3. And whenever he could come back, he could always ask, because I could always perform, he could always ask for my report cards, and he appreciates. Whenever he comes for holidays, he asks how I perform. So I have been following his footpaths, and currently he's a urologist. He's a urologist. He's a surgeon. He has just completed from India. So I've been following up, and actually when each step he has been guiding me. That's how I ended up following exactly what he's doing.
Well, he must
But
be.
for me, I want to become an obstetrician, and for him, he's a general surgeon.
Well, he must be very proud of you then.
He's one of my best friends.
Mm.
He's my mentor in the medical world.
That's great.
Only that now, when I joined university, we had financial problems. There are fees, but people tried their best at everything. They've been trying.
Yeah, the medical school experience for you was a challenge for your family, and that's when I got to meet you. Tell us a story about how your father did your parents did whatever they could to support you, selling property, whatever they may have done. It was an extraordinary effort to support you.
The university that I joined was I was a privately sponsored student, and for the course of five years and a half, those are 11 semesters. Each semester we are paying 2.8 million, and my father is a peasant. I come from a humble family. However, we had a few property at home. He had to sacrifice a few for the beginning. But when I reached the third year there, life was very hard. There was no money. And actually I would stop schooling, but I was still performing in class. So that's when Mr. Patrick was informed, and he intervened in, and other relatives also. That's how I ended up. But the truth is, financially, it was a challenge, because there was a time when the timetable is out 2 days, and me, I'm not sure whether I'll do exam homework because of fees. But he has always been rescuing me the last minute. I thank God for that and him.
Wow, that's a great story. So what is your plan now? I mean, you're getting invaluable experience. You're getting cases that you see.
Currently,
where would you like to go next? So what is your dream? What would be a dream job for you?
I would wish, being a person from a humble background, actually I like taking care of patients, but being from a very humble background, I would wish to get a higher paying job so that I support the young ones who are coming, because they need fees also. However, where I am, I'm getting more and more clinical exposure, because we are receiving interesting cases. However, the pay is not all that good, because they are saying they'll be giving me around 2 million a month, which may not sustain me, my father, because I have to take care of the family back home and the young brothers and sisters. So I would wish to get greener pastures if possible.
Oh, I'm sure you will. You're young. This is you're early, very early in your career, and it's only going to be like a step. You'll just take the next step, the next step.
It's just the beginning. I'm just from school. This is just the beginning. To 1 week, 1 month and a half old, in the center. So if I get greener pastures, better.
Yes.
But still, it is life first. I prefer treating patients first.
Well, they'll be very lucky to have you working with them, because you're conscientious and you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm interested in patient care mostly. But now they pay, because I have to pay fees. People are saying here, this, they want money, they want here, and have nothing. All the salary just disappear. And now when will I construct? So it becomes a problem. Well, the financial bit of it is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But patient care and exposure, I'm okay, I have no problem.
Well, there's a saying, at least in the Ruchiga language, Gumasariza moni wani wanshi.
Patience.
Yeah, be patient, and it'll come. It'll come. We believe in that. And those of us who believe in you know that better days are ahead that will allow you to, pay things forward, and even, and support your family as well. So, Abraham, I appreciate your time and sharing your story with me today, and it's wonderful to see you again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Patrick. I appreciate all the efforts, everything that you have been doing for me. Actually, I finished because of you. If you didn't come in, maybe I would have applied for a dead year, and today I would still be in school. But lucky enough, I finished. Everything is okay now. I'm now in a working world.
Mukama Simwe,
Siwe mdogo.
a remarkable young man. When I met him in 2013, his uncle had asked me to bring a laptop computer from the USA to help him with his studies. And so I made arrangements and I brought it to the house. And as I drove up into the compound and was just minutes away from meeting him, I don't know what got over me, but I just had this plan that I would tell him that I was unable to bring it, even though I had it in the car with me. It was either a cruel joke or maybe I just wanted to see how he would react. So I told his uncle Cleos about it. The computer's in the car, but let's tell him that I didn't bring the computer. And so when I got in the house and I said hello to Abraham, I said to him, Abraham, I'm sorry, I was supposed to bring you a computer, but I was unable to do so. And his response was one of great humility. And, he wasn't upset or anything, but he just said, it was just sort of matter of fact, oh, I'm sorry, that's okay, type of a thing. And I don't know why I decided to do that, but within 10 minutes, I fessed up to him and I said, Abraham, I'm sorry, I don't know what came over me, but your computer is here. And I presented him the computer, and of course he was very, very happy. In subsequent visits to the house, and in the subsequent times that I did meet with Abraham, he would show me these training videos. I think he got off the internet somewhere, detailing, some doctor's lecture on procedures, some surgical procedures, and how well this computer helped him with his studies. I'm happy I was able to assist and bring him this, learning tool. I'm confessing to you, my audience, that I was somewhat silly to play this joke on him, if you will, this prank. But it was instructive because it just showed what sort of a matter of fact, what a humble guy he is, and that he remains. I hope you would have heard that in the interview that we just conducted. And, we're happy to help Abraham get across the finish line. Team in Faith and its supporters. We supported him for about a little over 3 years with school fees to supplement what his family was able to raise from relatives and through sales of properties of his parents. It's a great achievement for him and his family. If you would like to support women, orphans, and vulnerable children through Team in Faith, I encourage you to go to our website, teaminfaith.org, and there's a Donate Now button, and you can make a tax-deductible donation. So once again, teaminfaith.org, and we will help raise a new generation of Ugandans and other East Africans to become self-sufficient and allow them to build careers that can sustain themselves, their communities, and their families. So that concludes today's episode of East Africa NGO. Once again, I am Patrick Hill. Thank you for listening.